Hello and welcome to a stupid guide on how to make a trampler or something like that, whatever you want to call it. So I'm usually into the meta build and stuff. So just if you want to make a cheap solo thing or anything that just generally works for small crew too, you just have to put reactor in the back. You can use these if you don't have the tech tree, but I prefer using the frame cargo. Frame cargo costs like 1.5k crowns in the tech tree, and this is like the best thing you can get early game. So you basically just want to switch these out with this thing, and then when you instead of like using one of these bad doors, they cost a lot and have a lot of weight, and are I think you have to go pretty far into the tech tree to get them. You just want to slap one of these normal crew compartments, and this is also where you're gonna put your bed in solos, because if you have your bed in the captain's cabin, you're gonna have to open the door to actually get out of it. And that means people can go in and take the trampler over. Um, the problem with this thing is you know, this thing, the door to the captain is only one door, because if they use the normal entrance that we will put here to get the door for the actual thing, then they just have to, they can jump onto this and then like run down here, turn off the reactor and go into the captain's room. That's like the only downside with it, but otherwise I've not been having any problems. And then for the top reactor, you wanna have these armors facing like this, because do you see the top of the reactor? People can still hit that. So you want the top of the reactor to be covered by this thing. Or you can always switch this out to a crafting table if you want to. I forgot what it was. Here it is. And put it like this works, because it also protects the thing, but this is also fine if you want to. And for the drive here, you could use the normal fly bridge with 2k health, or the tarp one with a bit more health. And uh, no, no, yeah, I think this is better. I don't think that this top part is a part of the hitbox. It makes it kind of easier to hit, I guess, but it has a bit more health. You don't never know when you need more health. And then you just have this one cannon facing the front, and then you can have another storage here, normal frame, to make it like you don't need the protection kind of. To make it just so they can't hit the top. Framed has much more health, and actually not that much on these, but on this is 500 more is a lot of health. Well, it's not a lot, but like it counts. So then you just want to you don't want them to get close to your thing, so you want to like shoot them out of the cannon, then you can ram them, jump on, take the thing over, whatever you want to do. And for the meta right now, if you wanna use like the big chassis, for example, wait, let me find it. This thing. Yeah. So you want your reactor in the back, of course. You don't want it sticking out that much, but you can have it stick out once to have more front armor, because you're always gonna be facing them anyways. Alright? And if you cannot face them, I recommend putting it in one step more like this, but then you don't have that much armor in the front. So you want to put two trunk compartments around it to protect from the sides. Very cheap armor, not nothing really special, anything special. You're gonna want your steering to be this thing kind of sucks. Look, do you see how much it like costs? Depend and like the HP, it's also much harder to repair this thing because the pipes are spread everywhere out. And like yeah, and this weighs a bit more and energy consumption, and it's just a bigger target. You cannot get shot while driving, of course, but like it's just a bigger target. If you just get on the driving real quick, turn, and then jump off, and then you crouch behind this thing, then when you're done turning, you just jump on and click space to like stop everything. And then you're gonna want cannons as high up as possible. You're not gonna want to like, if you're having a pretty small build, then you don't want them like at max height, but having them high up is like always good as long as they aren't here, like they can't shoot up and destroy from under it. But if you can shoot down, it's much harder for them to hit you. Because if you can hit their head while they're reloading and stuff. But otherwise, after they're reloading, they'll stand like next to the cannon, like this. They'll stand like here. So then you can like snipe them off the thing. But if they're reloading, they're gonna be right behind it. So you're gonna have to hit the cannon in that case. So you're gonna want some front armor that will usually be just storage, because the storage is a lot of health and easy to repair, except like the armor plates, because they you need a repair kit from and turn off your reactor, which you can do after a fight, of course. But if you don't have them, just spam as much storage as you can. And you can walk through the storage here. It's just a bit tricky, but it's not even that hard. You just have to, you can just walk through. So you're gonna want the up thing to be on these, so you can spawn in, run up, and again have the entrance on this, because then you get a free door and other stuff instead of having to use these compartments. Also, these kind of suck, because they die after one 80mm shot or just one C4. The entire compartment dies. So if you have like 4 doors here and they plant one C4, the entire compartment is gone, and then just all the doors go down. So you can either use this one to survive one grenade and one C4. People probably won't use a grenade because that's not like common knowledge, but this one is a lot more expensive though. So I just use the crew compartment because it's like multi-purpose stuff. And again, my builds don't have like the most protection for capturing it, but I mostly don't get people trying to board the thing. So for me, it's kind of fine. If you're having those problems, you could probably put like you could put one of these here because it still takes like 2C4. Most people don't have 2C4, I believe. Or like some do. Some people bring like all three, but they're gonna have to blow through other stuff and they may not even notice there's actually a thing here they can do. So the problem with this thing is that you can jump on top of it. So I've had like if you put one of these, it just makes it much harder because they like jump out and then you climb up onto this. So if you have this, it's gonna overhang and they won't be able to get up. And then you're gonna want your cannons. I prefer before like the release, these ones just cost the same as these ones, but they changed it. But the weight is still the same, and the HP is just 1k better on this one. So I prefer using this one, even though it makes it cost a bit more. So I'm gonna build this for a trio, of course. So we're gonna have it. I'm just gonna make it this into a tower one actually. I'm gonna spread out the cannons as much as possible. Also, your cannons will like you will prefer the cannons not to be in front, like behind it. Shouldn't be anything special, right? The reactors host. Because if they shoot, try to hit your cannon and miss, they're gonna be hitting the reactor. So they basically, even if they miss, they're hitting like good spots. So that just means more like stuff for them to get. And if you're using like builds that have the floor into these kind of stuff, if these get destroyed, they can just shoot straight through the floor into their legs. So you might want some like floor armor, because oh yeah, I should probably finish this build first. I'll move on to that later. Just wanna grab this, and probably have the steering kind of here. Gonna make that into this, and then I'm gonna give him. Okay, now that's gonna be a problem. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to give it like this. You're gonna want some storage, of course, in front of this to be faced like this, so they actually hit these instead of just passing right through to protect the top of the reactor. And then you can add armor piece here. What other things that also work as good as armor is these. You don't want to use these because they have like 50 more weight. I build as cheap as possible and then just put these here, and they tank one 80mm shot, which is pretty nice for just being the like very cheap armor. So you can spam them across your entire build if you want to like make it. I think they could jump onto that, but like you can spam it to like make it a bit more wide, but tank a few more shots everywhere. But I just prefer having them in the front because that's where you're gonna be facing them at all times. Because if they get behind you, you're basically dead. Just don't just keep turning. So that's why like steering is also important. You don't want it to be destroyed. So I think I'm gonna make this into one of the tower builds. Yeah, I have loads of. So here you guys on the top, bottom floor, you're just gonna want more storage. Just don't mind the number here, because it's gonna have to go up. It might be expensive kind of quick, but if you have played the game for a bit, it's not that hard to get a bit of scrap. So then you're just gonna want the top floor armor too, of course. So they can't hit everything. The front, you don't have to have these here. You can like switch them out with these if you want to, but you don't need to. You're gonna want the ladder up here. You're gonna want another ladder up here. I've seen a lot of these stairs being popular for blocking shots. I haven't been using them a lot. I will probably start using them more, but like they block one shot and cheap, good weight, other stuff. Basically will take one shot from this if they try to hit the reactor. I recommend having like maybe one more storage here, but I'm gonna actually put a storage here. For these corner ones, you're gonna want the corner storage to cover more like stuff. Because if they shoot from the more side, they're gonna be hitting that. If they just had this one. Right now with that, they can't shoot this thing either from here. And if they're yeah. So you're gonna want now you're gonna want to do your guns. I'm gonna be spacing out my guns as much as possible here, like this. I'm gonna make this into another tower. Gonna switch these up too. And we're gonna want these supporting frames. Yes, normal supporting frames, nothing special. Because then you have like more armor. Because if they try to shoot here, the shots might like arc, but if they shoot and they miss, it's just gonna go straight through. And that means they will miss. And the further apart your guns are, the harder it is to like hit them too. You don't want them to be like spaced around like crazy, but if you have them a bit away from each other, it's gonna be alright. So then you're gonna, of course, want to way up. So you can just switch out one of these. Wait, no, that doesn't work. You can have it back here. Or you can switch out one of these. You don't really need the side armor that much for one of these to just put like this. And then you put another one up here and can put one over here to have as a small storage for your cannons, guns, etc. Like that eats a lot of the top speed, so I recommend not doing that much. And just having these here so you can easily jump off and go into wherever you want here on the trampler. There we go. And I've also noticed balconies are a pretty good thing here. Because look, they cost a bit, they do cost a bit, but for being such like having a weight and 200 HP, they can tank 180mm shot, which is like what you get most value out of, or anything else. This is like just like one time protection, because you're not gonna be using a repair kit to repair it, kind of. But like that's how, yeah. Like this is what works. You have the storage. You go in here. You go up here. Crew room, captain's cabin, bit exposed. And also, if you want to make this into a 6-man, you just take another normal small compartment here and shove it onto here. So you can always just put one of the corridors here if you want to, like this. And of course, have this be a door and this be a door. And then you can just so you have an extra door here to not be taken over as easily. But I'd rather not use that. Oh, there we go. And this is just like, yeah, if you have a six man, you're gonna want to have a bit more guns here. So your captain can actually be on bottom floor instead, and have your gun in the middle like this. And I want to, yeah, so you're gonna want to space that out too. I need that like that. Now you got like firing squad stuff. One, two, three, four, five, yeah. So driver gets off, have probably a 40 millimeter here to like spam them. And if the driving gets damaged, you have to repair it. Or you could like hide the thing more for the back if you want to, and put maybe a stair. Actually, no, stairs are not gonna work here. You could you could use storage. You can see through storage. But the problem is here, yeah, it's not gonna like work with these. You're gonna have to use this one, which is very expensive, but has more health, easier to hit, of course, but otherwise nothing special. And yeah, to move on from onto the other thing with the big trampler. If you have a very big trampler like the Royal Chassis and want to use these on the bottom floor, or it doesn't even have to be Royal Chassis. Problem with these is they tank one shot, of course, but after they have taken one shot, the shots will just go straight through and hit the legs. So that's like a big vulnerability. So you're gonna want like storage on these sides, I guess, like just this. So if they shoot here, they can't just go straight into their legs. They're probably gonna go down pretty quick, but it will at least tank one, two, three shots from legs. Which is like legs are needed if you want to turn to face them, and if they get close, you don't want them getting close. Whatever build you have, maybe you want to like push them. I don't think the real chassis is like optimal for pushing though. You wanna stay back and like fire at them. Also, I've seen a lot of builds with back guns. I know like them getting behind you can be a problem, but if you have your reactor in the back anyways, and they somehow get like behind you, that's just that's just a you problem. You're gonna have to turn to them. And if you walk forwards while turning, your turning radius is like much bigger than just not walk like not moving forward or backwards while turning. Then you just turn much quicker. So I guess if you want anything, yeah, I guess that's everything. Yeah, I'll see you probably once you watch the next video that I'm probably not making. Okay, so I kind of forgot about one thing. So I was just gonna show you the quick trio build you can do. That's just really cheap and good, as long as you can like keep it alive or keep facing them. So you're gonna want your cannons to be like, you know, like the frogs. You know how their eyes are like the frog plushies or something. Their eyes are like up that like that. So you're gonna want to do the storage, of course, the storage and everything. Then you're gonna have the door here and your captain and your crew compartments. And then you're gonna want the bottom storage again, framed. Also protects the reactor. And gonna bring up these again, like that. You're gonna want these to be like this to protect the top of the reactor. And you can always have on one of these storages here. Oh, these ones are gonna be one more up. So then you have the walkway up here using these and put one of these so you can easily get off or on. And of course this for protection from getting like jumping onto it. You can also use these of course. It's just you can climb the same thing, so it's easier to like jump off, I guess, if you want to jump off from the top. And then you're gonna want one more gun here. It doesn't matter which side. I'd rather have this side though, because if they try to shoot me, they're gonna hit these things that have more armor. And then the driving on this side with framed. So you're gonna put this here, and then you can also spread it over like the entire thing except this. You can like jump off here, run down, jump off, jump down here, pop a rod, then climb up and get them to driving again. Or if you like one of the gunners that just want to pop a rod, then you of course put the support here, and then you add the gun because they're gonna have to when if you like shoot really fast with the guns if you're aiming, and then you like swipe over the screen to like another person, and then you shoot at the same time, the shot will just not go where your crosshair is because it takes like the velocity of the how the gun is also moving. So they're gonna have to make more adjustments to actually hit these. And then you can also like expose only this gun. If you like hiding behind, imagine there's like a big rock here. So then you only like show, you go to the side only to show this thing and like these other stuff. So your turret can still shoot at them, but they can't even see your entire trampler until they like move and expose more of themselves. Or you could of course do it on this side. We have two guns instead. You could possibly make this hit too, but then you're gonna have to expose the other side. But then you're gonna need like good coordination for them to tell you when to stop or stuff. This doesn't have the best maneuverability, of course, but you're gonna, it works. I have been using it a lot. I've never lost. I've lost actually the tramplers died a few times, but that was like my fault for trying to run away one or two times. But then we just took over their tramplers, so it was like nothing special. But if you just want to do this, no, what am I even talking about? Yeah, that's it.